Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Things Life and Sports podcast with Kylan Thomas. That's me. I'm your host, Kylan Thomas. Let's get into it. I gotta get back to my little spot, my little podcast spot. I hate this glare. Still working on the live. We're gonna continue our series with the Jaguars draft pick, kind of looking at who they picked. Oh, y'all see, I got my little Jaguar shirt on today. But we're gonna kind of dive into who they picked, um give my grade for the pick. Cavaliers even the series yesterday and last night against the Pistons. And y'all know I said that they got swept is on and popping. On and popping. But we're gonna start first with the Jaguars. In round six, pick 191, they took Josh Cameron, wide receiver, out of Baylor. Now he's like 6 feet, 6'1", 195 pounds. He brings size, strength, that physicality, toughness. He's a two-time first team All Big 12 in 2024 as a returner, and then in 2025 as a wide receiver. Even in 2024 as a returner, he still both years he still led his team in yards, catches, and touchdowns. Now, he's not your speedy wide receiver, or he's not really gonna get separation, which we don't need that. Um, but he is a contested catch, great contested catcher, and he's hard to bring down. So get him in space, get the ball in his hands, and let him work. So based on the 2024 thing as a returner, I'm looking at it as we got a gadget piece, along with we got our punt returner. Parker Washington has carved out a nice role as a true wide receiver. So you don't really want him doing all the little gadget plays and all that. So that's why you go get a guy like Josh Cameron. We're gonna get into the other receiver that guy I want to say out of Stanford. We're gonna get into him next and let's see what he brings. But so far from what I'm looking at, with Josh Cameron, that size, you bringing in your returner, um, and we also, like I said, with the utility, we like Liam them loves to use those motions. We seen it last year. That's why I said you go and get a guy like this, so you don't have to, have one of your true wide receivers doing that right now. So and then also then you may say, like with the wide receiver screens, the gadget plays, we tried to get Travis that as well last year. You may say, well, that's what we got Travis for. That's the packages he's gonna. I'm telling you guys, he's gonna play cornerback. Like that report that doesn't just come out. And even when Travis tweeted about it, you have former players telling him, nah, bro, you just ain't heard about it. But they're talking. They leaked it to somebody, and now they coming out saying, "Oh no, we're still gonna use what one or two plays out the whole." That's not what we drafted him for. I said from the jump, he just needs to be a cornerback. But so you may say, well, that's what we got, Travis. This pick right here, and we're gonna look at this net receiver. That lets me know, no. Um, no. So I'm expecting that to be Josh or somebody like that. He also has great hands. If you look at his draft profile, he has great hands. Like I said, he's big and physical. He's not gonna get separation, so he has to be able to make those contested catches. And they're wanting him to block. They Liam and Gladstone even stated it, and when drafting him, they want somebody that's gonna get dirty that can block. Now, again, according to his draft profile, that blocking isn't a strong suit of his. But again, they did talk about development. Gladstone mentioned that in the pressure. They're big on developing players. That's something I feel like he can develop. So we'll see. And he has the want to. You even heard him at the Senior Bowl. Josh at the Senior Bowl when asked, how much he squats like 500 and something pounds. So he's strong. He said, I'm not your prototypical wide receivers in size. But I'm willing to. I do it all. I'm willing to do anything, and I do it all. Period. Which we seen 2024 punt returner, and he leads team in yards, receiving in yards, touchdowns, catch. So I actually like this pick. I actually think this is a steal in the sixth round. I'm gonna go A for this pick, especially because, like I said, I feel like we drafted our punt returner not any returner. I feel like we drafted our returner, which we need. You don't need Parker and them back there doing that. So I think nor Bayshul, because he's gonna be. That's a great point. Bayshul is gonna be your possible RB1, RB2. So you don't need them back there returning no punts. So I guarantee that's what this pick was, and I love it. I mean, the guy was all team punt returns. Now, Cavs even the series. Cavaliers even the series. Behind Mitchell's 43 points, we had 39 in the second half. Remember how I said I want to say it was back in game? It had to have been game 3 when they were down 2-0. And I want to say it was in. I want to say I said it was in Cleveland, but I misspoke. It's in Detroit. But I said back in game 3 when they were down 2-0, and you go look at the numbers and the stats. Him, Harden, your two guys were inefficient. It was jacking up all these threes. I said, get to the free throw line. If your shot's not falling, get to the line. And let's look at his numbers last night. 13 to 26. Dang, I shot the ball 30 times. But he still went 4 from 12 from the 3. But here is the what I like. 13 of 15 from the free throw line. It's almost like I be knowing what I be talking about. It's almost like I be knowing what I be talking about. But I still the 4 for 12 shots from 3. That's about half of the shots you took. That's still a lot from the 3-point line. They still gotta work on that. This is a 7-game series. You cannot just be throwing up these threes. But I like when the shot was not falling, he said, you know what, let me get to the line. That also slows the game down. Like, it's so much with that people don't even think about or realize. But just me being an athlete, I understand certain things. I don't play basketball. I play for fun. But I don't play organized or pro basketball. But I know even in going to the line, anytime you have a stoppage, that slow the game. That gives guys time to breathe. Like, it time for your coach to pull you and talk. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot with that goes into that, which is why I say get to the free throw line. He's gonna have to keep that going. Harden, I want to say, also went to the free throw line 9 times, went 9 for 9. They got to keep that going. Like I said, I'm still iffy on the 4 from 12 from 3. That's still a lot of 3-point threes just throwing up, especially if you only making 4 of them. You're not Stephen Curry. But I'm expecting game 5 of this game. No, game 4. No, 5. Yeah, they tied 2-2. I'm expecting game 5 to be more Detroit. Hey, it's in Detroit, and I'm not expecting Mitchell to go for 43 again. So I'm still the efficiency still gotta be a little better. We talking about championship. The efficiency got to get better. I need more from Harden. I want to say I was watching Inside the NBA, and Chuck said Harden had like 35 games where he's had more turnovers than field goals, and that's horrible for a guy like him in his playoff career. So I'm still gonna need more efficiency from those guys. If we talking about winning this series and then beating the Knicks, but they did what I said and get into the free throw line. So that's a good sign. So let's see if they can continue that. Put pressure on the Pistons. Get them in foul trouble. That make them lay off a little bit because you don't want to foul out. You see what I'm saying? All that playing role. But this next topic. What King Roscoe say? Sweet, do it with your team. Lakers get swept. Y'all King got swept for the 4th time in his playoff career. Lost 115 to 110. Mind you, it was closer than that now. The game was closer than that. The Lakers had a 1-point lead. Then the Thunder hit a shot. Then, with like 9 seconds left, LeBron had the ball down 110 to 109 with an opportunity to go up one. LeBron drives to the basket and no good. No good. Missed the shot to give the Lakers the chance to go up one, and it was all she wrote from there. All she wrote. Let's do a quick little journey. He's been swept 4 times in his career. Kobe 3, Jordan 2, both of which was against the Celtics. And let's dive a little deeper into that. Jordan got swept when those were 5-game series, so they only had to go up 3-0. If it was a 7-game, I like to think in one of those he probably would have got one of them games. But that's wishful. That's he say who well you never know. So if I were to go and say, hey, and reverse it, how many times has LeBron been down 3-0 in his career? LeBron has been down 3-0 6 times in his career, which would put him, like we say, oh, he would have dominated Jordan era. LeBron would have gotten swept 6 times back in Jordan era, back in that time. You see what I'm saying? And Jordan got swept in, was it 86, 87, I think was the years. So that's that. That's one. Not to mention the 6 finals. Kobe got 5. You got 3. I'm not counting that bubble ish. Even I want to say it was 80 even came out and know that's a Mickey Mouse ring. LeBron 2007 finals against the Spurs. 2018 against the Warriors finals. 2023 Western Conference against the Nuggets, and now 2026 against the Thunders. And there was even roll bumps throughout the year. There's been times we were saying, oh, LeBron got to go. They could not gel as their big three. AR, Luke, and LeBron, they could not gel. LeBron even talked about it himself on the podium about him having to be a second option. A third option at this point. He felt like he did great. Numbers would say otherwise. But when LeBron came to LA, there was expectations for championships. When you got folk talking about, oh, he got 10. He's the best Laker already. What did Magic do? What did Kobe do? Shaq, Kareem. When you get to comparing him to them type of Lakers, them type of guys, and you only got one championship that happened in the bubble when teams didn't even want to come, no fans. Y'all know that little Mickey Mouse ring don't count. The expectations was for you to come and bring championships. I think this is the year they have to cut their losses with LeBron James. They have to let go of LeBron James because you didn't trade for Luka for no reason. Put the keys in his hand. Then Rui is a free agent. How do I sell a guy like Rui Hachimura to come back with a Bron another year older? We want to spend picks on his son. I seen somebody talking about the Thunder depth. Somebody said, well, I mean, for one, they're not spending draft picks just for people's sons to come play. How am I supposed to sell a guy like that to come back and play for us? Rui is going to get a bag. They're not going to be able to pay him no way. You see what I'm saying? Put the keys in Luka's hand. Let him go. Get what you can get. I want to say LeBron and Prey option. I should have really looked that up, but I just know they got to get rid of him, man. They got to get rid of LeBron. Even if he don't retire, he it's time. The league is only getting younger, but it's just funny how these LeBron fans all want to mention Kobe and Jordan later years, but they don't want to mention nothing about LeBron failures as a Laker. Nothing about his failures as a Laker. I mean, that's just asinine to me. That's I find that funny. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mention it. What King Roscoe say? Sweet, do it with your Lakers get swept. It's over with. It is over. Oh, with. But thank y'all so much. My Mets play tonight. We're going to talk about my Mets tomorrow. I need to talk about my Gators. That Mets Detroit comes into town tonight. I want to say it is a 7:10 first pitch. Yep. 7:10 Detroit Tigers coming to town. We're going to talk about that. Recap the Mets. Recap Spurs T-Wolves. And then we're going to possibly talk about my Gators. I want to see what I want to talk about with them. What I want to talk about. Because we kind of in a dead period right now. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Make sure everything done before you try to have fun. Peace.